Hi, I'm Jim Muehlhausen, author of the 51 Fatal Business Errors, and I'm here to talk to you about fatal error number 11, herding cats. The customer is always right? Hogwash. They ask you for what they want with little or no disregard for your profitability. And then they give you this double talk about how they want you to make money. Yeah, right. What they really mean is, please don't go out of business and leave us without a vendor. But other than that, you making money, they don't really care. They make demands that are unreasonable, forcing you into difficult or unprofitable places. Lack of planning on their part constitutes an automatic emergency on your part. They ask you for win-lose items, not win-win items that drive up your cost and then demand you to lower your pricing. You get my point. What I'm trying to say here is, how do we balance your need to keep customers and keep them happy, as well as maintaining maximum profitability of your business? Well, here's how we do it. We nicely dictate terms to the customer. Despite all the rhetoric, most customers want a win-lose deal where you are the one that loses. The way you fix this is dictating terms and create a win-win deal. I believe that much of your profitability will depend on how much you can dictate terms to your customers. This would also include your vendors. That ultimately, if you're going to be extremely profitable, you're going to need to learn to dictate terms. Here's some examples of businesses that already dictate terms to you and me, their customer. How about doctors? Go to their office, show your insurance card, prove your ability to pay. These are all dictating terms. Wait in the waiting room for the waiting room. Cell phone companies, they dictate how you're going to get customer service because they know you're not going to quit over it. You're going to pay attention to your coverage area, not the customer service. How about Walmart? Can't find the cart, wait in line. All of those things are dictating terms to keep their costs down because they know you won't quit. Now notice, all of those are successful companies, not unsuccessful companies. So where do you start by nicely dictating terms to your customers? The first thing you need to do is you have to decide where you have the power to dictate those terms and where you don't. I know this is scary, it always is. Our fear is that customers will leave. Okay, well, what message is that sending you if they do leave? To me, the message it's sending is that you were teetering with that customer and that your value proposition is fairly weak with them if they're going to quit over one little thing. The point on this is strengthen your value proposition, not worry about the dictating terms. You can't be wimpy about this, because this is about making your business profitable, not about keeping customers. Find the win-win terms that you can dictate. Maybe win-win, not in its traditional definition. When I say win-win on this, what I mean is what makes or saves you more money than the perceived hit to the customer. Here's a great example. Waiting in line at Walmart. How about Walmart made a guarantee that they said there'll never be more than 2 people in line waiting? How many tens of millions of dollars or hundreds of millions of dollars would this cost Walmart? It would cost them a ton to do that. Instead, they make you wait just a little bit. Realistically, you attach very low value on that, and everybody wins. You wait a little bit, they keep their costs down, they pass some of that savings along to you. Those are the win-wins that I want to find, and you have to find the ones that your customer won't quit you over. It's what it really boils down to. It does take a bit of paternalism on your part, and that's because you have to guess at what the customer wants and try it out before. You can't believe what the customers are saying, because what they're going to say is, I want this, and 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 by the way, I want that really low price that doesn't involve all that extra cost that I just told you that I wanted. The easiest way to start this process, at least for B2B companies, is creating a welcome pack. It's a great starting point. For instance, I have a client that's in the coffee service business. Here's the issues in their business that can be rectified by a welcome packet. They get people that are saying, hey, I know you were here yesterday and you come once a week, but I really need $3 worth of creamer. Can you bring it up to the 37th floor of this high rise and find all the parking and all that stuff? inefficiencies in their routes, under $50 minimums. What it was doing was it was driving costs up, and customers weren't willing to pay for the increased costs that they were creating. The solution was to get the customers to cooperate with our route system. However, when it really came down to it, they didn't care. They're saying, in their heads at least, hey, maybe you aren't hearing me, I'm out of creamer. And I want my $3 worth of creamer, and I don't really care what it takes you to get here, but don't you dare raise my price. Any of this hitting home? This has a happy ending. What we did was we decided to have the guts to dictate terms to customers, and what we did was we created a welcome packet that kind of laid out the rules. Now let's face it, they're not always going to follow these rules, but if we have brought them up, if we have said, hey, here's what you can do to help us lower your costs effectively, that we're going to pass some of these savings along to you, and the time to dictate these terms, whether it be in a welcome packet or any other way, is at the beginning of the relationship. Everybody's happy. They just made a decision to buy, so they're going to be in a little bit of euphoria over that. Also, nothing's gone wrong. It's a brand new relationship. Everything is a possibility. This is the time to be a little tough about it and dictate some terms to those customers. Now, you can actually find an example of this very welcome packet that I am discussing at 51airs.com. It's under the extras section at 51airs.com. So here's the bottom line. In review, what you need to do is, number one, you are going to have to dictate some terms to your customers, or you're going to be costing yourself bottom line. Secondly, be a little paternalistic and come up with how you can help the customer help you, and that when it really comes down to it, that it's black or white, there is no gray, that they're going to choose to stay with you, that they're going to wait in line at Walmart, if you will. You have those. We all have them, and they can lower your cost or raise your revenue and effectively not cost the customer much or anything, certainly not enough to quit. Then you need to implement those. So once you have those items, experiment. My recommendation, try it with new customers before you go back to your old customers. But certainly if you have the power to go back to your old customers with these, it's an even better solution because you're going to bring even more money to the table. I hope you've enjoyed this air. I'll look forward to speaking to you next week on the 51 Fatal Errors series.